Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is David Benjamin from healthywildandfree.com. Today I'm out in nature, as you can see behind me, surrounded by plants, green vegetation, by the water over here, as you can see also. It's a really beautiful day out in Michigan, spending some time in nature on my bike. As you can see here, this is a fold-up bike, and I'm charging a solar panel right here while I'm riding, which charges my cell phone. And this is a fold-up bike. It's from Citizen Bike. Really like it. So I'm just spending time in nature, on the trails, enjoying the beautiful day, getting some vitamin D from the sun, obviously, breathing in all this fresh air from the plants. And I want to talk today about plants, since I'm in nature. I want to talk about a topic that's really been interesting to me lately that I've been researching, that I recently wrote an article about, that I find really intriguing and really cool. And that question or topic is, do plants communicate, and do plants have feelings? Now, you may be watching this and thinking, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. If that's the case, this video probably isn't for you. But if you're intrigued and you're curious, then listen further. So we already actually know that plants communicate chemically. Plants contain what are known as phytochemicals, which are just essentially plant chemicals, and we know that plants communicate chemically. So that's already been established, and we do know that plants communicate sort of in networks. So we already know that plants communicate, but what's interesting is to answer the question, do plants feel? Do plants sort of have emotions or consciousness or sentience beyond just basic communication? And I was doing some research, and I found this really interesting article, and I actually wrote about it on healthywildandfree.com, so I'll link that article up right below this video. But there's this guy, and this story dates way back to 1966. This guy was teaching policemen how to determine if someone is lying. He was teaching policemen basically just body language and helping them understand if someone is lying. And on a whim, he took a galvanometer, which is an electronic device that attaches to plants. So if I were to take a plant, for example, like this right here, and I would attach an electrode to it, that electrode would connect to the galvanometer, and it would let me know if there's an electrical charge within the plant. So on a whim, he was like, oh, I'm just going to attach an electrode to a plant, and he attached it to a I don't know how to pronounce it, Dracea, D-R-A-C-E-A plant. It's one of those houseplants you see that kind of looks like a palm branches, and they're very common everywhere. And so he attached it to the plant, and he watered the plant, and he noticed there was an electrical charge response just from watering the plant, and he thought that was interesting. So, but what was interesting is he didn't recognize that there was a huge charge or a huge shift in the electrical output of the plant, which he thought it would actually be larger from it being watered. So he decided to, out of curiosity, which is brilliant and amazing, curiosity's awesome, it releases dopamine in the brain, it's sort of like a drug, and I encourage more people to be curious, but not too curious, but somewhat curious. So out of curiosity, he attached the electrode, kept the electrode attached to the galvanometer and to the plant, and he thought about burning the plant, burning a leaf, with a match or any light or whatever. And interestingly enough, the plant actually responded electrically, and the galvanometer shot up, and it responded from his thought about harming the plant. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, what? Holy bleep. Swear words, curse words. I was just like, holy crap, this is crazy. So his research was coined, his name's Cleve Baxter, and it was coined the Baxter effect, because it was so groundbreaking. And what led me on and kind of turned me on to this research was probably about 5 or so years ago, I heard about a book called The Secret Life of Plants. And if you look this up, it's really interesting. It's basically research in regards from humans and plants and consciousness and the connection of the two. So there's actually an hour-and-a-half sort of video documentary that I posted on the blog on healthywildandfree.com as well. So that's right below this video where you can learn more about that. But The Secret Life of Plants itself is a book, and it has a lot of really interesting information around these types of topics that proves that plants aren't just living and growing physical, objects that reach for the sun. They do, obviously, but there's more to them than that. So the Cleve Baxter sort of experiment was really interesting. The Secret Life of Plants kind of added more validity to this idea. And then on top of that, I was reading a book the other day called The Celestine Prophecy, which is about this guy who journeys to the jungles of Peru. And there's a movie and a book called The Celestine Prophecy. Really good book, really good movie. Highly recommend it. That's all linked up below too as well. And there's a page in the book where it talks about people in Peru that literally just sit, and I don't know if this goes on to this day or not, or this was just back then, but I would assume there's places in the world where people do this, in indigenous communities, where people literally just sit, like I am now, and say this plant right here, right? They look at it and put their intention into it, and their intention is strength, growth, health, nutrition, all this kind of stuff. And they actually measured the plants and found that the plants grew stronger and healthier and had better nutritional content. How crazy is that? So the further I look into this kind of stuff, the more kind of research and validity I find behind it, which is really cool and interesting, because a huge part and purpose in my life and my goal is to use healthywildandfree.com and the videos of Healthy, Wild, and Free, everything to do with Healthy, Wild, and Free, to help people understand the connection between humankind and the plants, all the plants in our world, and to understand that plants are healing, plants are created for our growth and our evolution, and when we use that to our advantage, we become healthier, we become more conscious, we awaken to our potential, and I really do believe that's true. So those are just some interesting stories. My thoughts are plants are conscious, plants are awake, plants have evolved for, however many years, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, millions, whatever you believe, it really doesn't matter. Plants have been here longer than we have, and they have evolved, they have survived, they have become intelligent, that's their job. They utilize the soil, the sunshine, the water, all these microbes and nutrients to their advantage to survive. They carry innate intelligence. So that's what I personally believe, and that's I think a lot of the information that I've shared with you kind of backs that up. Interestingly enough, there's actually a philosophy, a belief system, and Wikipedia describes it as religious, but I consider it more philosophical, that it's called anima, A-N-I-M-A. And anima, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, but anima, whatever, comes from the Latin word enim, which means breath, life, spirit, which essentially just means, it represents just life and the essence of life in its entirety. And this philosophy is believed by many indigenous cultures and tribes and communities to essentially connect themselves to plants, connect themselves to nature, and to see, like I said, the innate intelligence in plants and in nature. And that is believed by many indigenous tribes and cultures, and I think that they are far more advanced and ahead of quote unquote civilized, which really civilization or civilized society is highly uncivilized, because we are solely dependent on economic gains and we are not dependent on working with nature sustainably. A true civilization would look more like an indigenous tribe, where they are disconnected from money and economics, and they can survive without that. And they aren't tearing each other down or corrupting their own people to advance themselves economically, which is absolutely ludicrous and completely uncivilized, if you really think about it. So, and I'm not saying you do that. We all make a living. We all, have a job or own a business or, work in some fashion or another to provide value to survive. And it's the same way in indigenous communities. But anyways, long story short, I think plants have consciousness. I think they are awake. Like I said, we know they communicate chemically, but I think Cleve Baxter's work, The Secret Life of Plants, the Celestine Prophecy, all these kind of things, all these ideas sort of lead to the fact that, or the idea that further encompasses plants being alive, awake, and conscious, and being sentient, living beyond just communicating and growing. They feel, they evolve, they are conscious, they're awake. So and there's a lot of other crazy things we could talk about here, but that's really it for today's video. I just want to share that with you and highly encourage you to get closer to plants, spend some time in nature. As you can see here, I am in the beautiful, beautiful green, vibrant nature here in Michigan. It's warm. I'm getting vitamin D from the sun, free nutrition. I love it. I'm getting higher quality oxygen by breathing in the oxygen that the plants produce. Thank you to the plants. And I'm getting exercise on my bike here, which is allowing me, improving my circulation and my nervous system health, my muscle health, my heart health, my brain health, all that kind of stuff. So just getting outside and getting in nature, I think, is really valuable, and seeing the connection of plants, to your health is valuable as well. So check out the article below. It describes all this information in more detail, as well as provides a link to a really cool hour-and-a-half documentary on plant sort of consciousness, and it's called The Secret Life of Plants. It's just embedded on the blog on healthywellandfree.com right below this video. And then last but not least, I just released something recently for Healthy, Wild, and Free subscribers. If you're an email subscriber or a follower on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you're following Healthy, Wild, and Free, it is now easier than ever to get updates from us. All you have to do is click the link below this video that says Facebook message subscribers, or Facebook, list, whatever I call it. Below this video will say Facebook something, and I'll have a link. That link, when you click that and you click Facebook Me, there's going to be a button that says Facebook Me at that link. Just click that button. When you're logged into Facebook, it should just show up already. You just click that button once, and it will subscribe you to Healthy, Wild, and Free, and I will be able to update you with videos, content, health products, reviews, things like that along those lines in your Facebook inbox. I'm going to do this once a week. I'm actually going to shift from the email newsletter to the Facebook newsletter. So if you're subscribed on email, or you aren't subscribed and you want to keep updated with this information and stay relevant with this, click that link below, follow that, use that button on Facebook, and you'll be opted in. And you can unsubscribe at any time if you're unhappy with the work that we're producing. But I highly doubt that you'll be unhappy, because we have a lot of really cool stuff in the pipeline. So thank you so much for your time. This is David Benjamin from healthywildandfree.com. It's been a while since I made a video. Been just spending time in nature, growing my beard, as you can see. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe, like, favorite, comment, and share. Check out the links below, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.